Hello all sentient beings and welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk about all news, comics, and media related to the... On this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode, we review episodes 5 through 8 of Transformers Cyberverse. We get a look at Transformers Forged to Fight Dinobot concept art, and we also go over some new cards coming out for the Transformers trading card game. Today is Friday, June 5th, 2020, and this is episode 183 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that took the red energon. I'm your host Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
I'm trying to think of something clever on the spot and I can't. I'm disappointed in myself. Let's talk Transformers.
If we must. As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal to help support the show. Thank you guys for everything you do. That really keeps us going. And if you'd like to join the ranks of our Donatreons, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. And that's where you can sign up either on Patreon or PayPal. You can also support us by buying merchandise from our TeePublic store. That is at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. You can also look at K-Girl's TeePublic store at teepublic.com/user/superstark. She's our artist friend who has done lots of designs for us, and she has some cool stuff too. We've got lots of designs on our store, and we've got masks as well. So lots of good stuff there and other merchandise. You can get the Transmissions logo on lots of different things. It'll come shipped directly to you, and we get a little commission for everything you buy. And even if you don't buy stuff from us, you can buy anything from TeePublic through our link, and that gives supports us and helps us out. So definitely check that out, transmissionspodcast.com/shop. Also, this coming Monday, June 8th, we will have the next episode of Empire of Rust. This is episode 25, so this is a bit of a milestone episode. And the guys celebrate their 25th episode. And the episode is titled, What Does the Turbo Fox Say? It starts off a new adventure for the Empire of Rust guys. So they traveled to the Energon station on the Metallicus transport ship. They have successfully made the journey and reached the station, but it seems deserted. So there's a big mystery as to what's going on in this station and where all the bots are. And can they get the Energon and take it back to Iacon? So if you are looking for a jumping on point, Daryl, this might be a new scenario here. They're starting a new adventure, so this might be a good jumping on point.
Okay. But I don't know who the characters are. I have to go back and get back to number one.
Maybe we can get Mike to give you a character sheet for everybody.
I have to get a Cole's notes here.
That's only in Canada. In America, it's Cliff Notes.
Oh, okay. You guys don't have any people named Cole?
I mean, I'm sure we do, but Cliff was the one who got that particular idea out here.
It's dumb.
All right, so let's start off the show and talk about some comics news. Okay, so first thing is we've got the manga from the god Neptune, Sakura Tomy Generations toy. That manga has been translated, so now you can read it in English and understand the story a little bit more. So this is the manga that comes with the god Neptune toy. Lots of stuff going on. I'm not really, I haven't really dug into this. I don't really, follow the toy manga that comes out, but they draw from lots of characters from all over, all throughout G1, and they do a lot of crazy stuff. This one looks like they've got Rodimus Prime in there too, so lots of characters making an appearance. But this is the stars of the show is the God Neptune characters, or the Seacon characters, and they've got Scylla, the female Seacon, looking a lot more feminine than she does in the toy, but whatever.
Well, the new repaint God Neptune, they changed it to a female.
Yeah, they did, but she's looking extra female in the comic here.
Oh.
Take a look. Enjoy. Next, we've got an update on IDW's summer schedule. So the comics are coming back. Things are shipping. But there's going to be a lot of delays. And in particular, I think the littler publishers get the short end of the stick from Diamond, unfortunately. So looking at the schedule, it doesn't look like we're going to get any new Transformers comics until June 17th. And that will be Transformers number 20. And then the Transformers the IDW Collection Phase 2 Volume 11 hardcover will also be out that week. And then June 24th will be Transformers versus the Terminator number 2. July 8th will be Transformers Galaxies number 7. July 15th will be Transformers 84 number 1. So it looks like that is going to July, not coming sooner, unfortunately. And July 22nd will be My Little Pony Transformers crossover issue 1 and Transformers 21. Then August 12th will be Transformers 22 and Transformers Galaxies number 8. August 19th will be Transformers 84 number 2 and Transformers vs. the Terminator number 3. And then August 26th will be Transformers Galaxies number 9 and Transformers Volume 2 Change in Their Nature hardcover. We've still got other comics that are not on the schedule yet. We've got the rest of the My Little Pony crossover that is not in the schedule, so we don't know when that's coming. Transformers Galaxies number 10, Transformers 23, the rest of the Transformers 84 miniseries, and the last issue of Transformers vs. the Terminator. So we'll see when all those are coming, but at least we get a little bit more certainty with the next few months of Transformers comics. But yeah, nothing really kicks off until a couple of weeks into June. So still got a little bit of a wait. Next, we've got an interview with Freddie Williams II, and this is on the Discount Film School YouTube channel. Freddie Williams II is an artist that's done a couple of covers for upcoming Transformers comics and Transformers comics in the past. The interview doesn't really go into his particular Transformers work, but it does talk with him a lot about the process of doing comics and art. So it could be interesting just to hear an artist talk about their process. So you can check that out, and they do have a connection to Transformers.
Freddie Williams II is pretty good. I much prefer Freddie Williams I.
Well, I'm sure he'll appreciate that you like his father better than him. I mean, that's to each their own, I guess. All right. Well, that's all the comics news. So let's move on to our review this week.
All right. And it's everyone's favorite time on Transmissions when Daryl gets to do a review. I'm kidding. It's terrible.
It's my favorite time because I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I had a great weekend.
Well, you guys are going to have to clean up because I wrote some stuff, but it's a mess. So let's see how we do here. We're going to review Cyberverse Season 3, episodes numbers 5 through 8. And if you haven't seen them yet, they are on the website YouTube, if you've never heard of it. It's a site there that displays videos. This particular site only displays these particular videos in America, though. So if you're in the rest of the world, you need to find some other way to do it.
Or you can just go to Daily
Or you can just go to Daily Motion and see them for free. Yeah. They're also on cable sometime, but you got to figure out when. It's a weird thing with cable where you got to figure out what's on at what point in time. So It's appointment viewing.
The Cartoon Network app has them. I guess that's only in the U.S.
Shut up with your Americanized systems of doing things. Yeah. Anyway, episode 5. We did episodes 1 to 4 a ways back, and it honestly almost has nothing to do with episodes 5 through 8. They kind of cut it off at that point. That was Battle for Cybertron, I think, was the 4-part series at that point. Now we start with individualized episodes with a larger kind of overarching story. First episode that we're doing, number 5, is called The Loop. And the cold open for this episode starts off with Hot Rod and Clobber, the Decepticon. Hot Rod has a new look, mind you. He is black with his signature flames on his chest. Hot Rod and Clobber have teamed up, and they are being sneaky for some reason. I don't really know why. Then the opening credits roll. First scene of the show is a parade of metals, not metals like Cybertronian metals like cesium and beryllium and all these other crazy things. They're just parading these metals through the street, and everyone's cheering. They start off. Hot Rod is looking for Bumblebee. That's later. Bumblebee, it starts off with Bumblebee is looking for Windblade, but he can't get to her because she's on the opposite side of the parade. Then Hot Rod enters, and he's looking for Bumblebee. He's trying to convince him to transform. Then the scene starts all over again, and Hot Rod enters the parade route. What's kind of going on here? There's a bit of a mess. Hot Rod then returns to Clobber, and we start getting filled in as to what's going on. All the other characters are in a simulation of sorts, and the only way out is by transforming. We get our first look at one of their captors, and they very much resemble a Sentinel from the movie The Matrix. Whoever they are, they're working with the Sharkticons. So we see them working together at the Sharkticon is kind of grunting away. There's a chase, and they go back to base where Perceptor is waiting for them. And he verbally confirms to the viewer, or us, that they are in fact Quintessons. Right, Charles?
No. Quintessons. They are Quintessons.
Quintessons, yes. So you get to see a ship. I left a little bit out of that episode, but there's quite a lot here. So the episode does show you a Quintesson vessel. It's kind of hovering above the city. Episode 4 ended, and the battle for Cybertron was over. Episode 5 begins, and everything is gone bonkers. You don't know what's happening, and this is kind of fun. I really like how this is going. We're going to go right into episode 6. This one's called The Dead End. Decepticons are watching a simulator, Decepticons are watching a similar. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Decepticons are watching a similar parade. Clobber attacks her friend Lockdown, trying to make him transform. But Dead End is nearby and is the only one that actually notices anything. Dead End transforms and immediately wakes up in a holding area where all the others are. But they have masks on their faces. As Dead End tries to figure out where he is and how to get out, a Quintesson drone becomes aware of his presence and chases him. Once away, he comes across Hot Rod and Clobber, and they try to explain what happened. We learn why Hot Rod got his new look, which is really cool. You get to see why, and you get to figure out that Hot Rod really has no idea how the Quintessons got there. The Quintessons continue to chase, and the 4, Hot Rod, Clobber, Dead End, and Perceptor, make their way to McAdams. But the Quintessons don't follow. And that's the end of that episode. It's a really interesting episode. You got a lot of fill in as to what the heck's going on. And still don't know exactly how the Quintessons got there. But we continue. Episode 7, The Sleeper. The episode opens up and we're back at the parade again. Optimus is riding on the main float. He's very happy, but sees Hot Rod fighting in the streets. As the episode opens up, at McAdams, Dead End is complaining about sitting around doing nothing. Hot Rod takes off and goes back to plug himself back into the loop. That's what they're calling everything. The parade essentially is called the loop, but can't get to Optimus in time. And he continues to do this rotation as the loop continues to loop. Perceptor is trying to figure out why the Quintessons can't see them at McAdams. After countless times trying to get to Optimus, Hot Rod successfully gets Whirl out, just by accident, then is pulled from the loop by a Sentinel. So Hot Rod's discovered by a Sentinel and is kind of pulled out. Perceptor discovers that McAdams' bar is only the teeniest, tiniest bit of the head of a Titan. And that's where that episode ends. This is where this whole storyline is really starting to get good. The parallels to the Matrix are uncanny. You can't miss them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the last episode here that we're going to do today, episode 8, The Citizen, you get a lot of backstory. So it's quite a good episode here. We'll go in here. McAdams, in the cold open, McAdams is in a battle alongside his Titan, Iaconus. The group finds a door, the group being Hot Rod, Perceptor, Dead End, and Clobber, and Whirl now, finds a door at the back of the bar. This is where McAdams has been going to get to the rest of the Titan. And they take the elevator down and end up in some sort of training room. Well, all except for Perceptor. After 503 levels of training, Perceptor is able to shut it down. The group starts looking around, revealing 10,000 habitation units that are all empty. Clobber is then attacked by Skullcruncher, and the team uses their just learned training to defeat him. As they then come across McAdams, and he tells the story of Iaconus. The episode ends with McAdams declaring that Iaconus should never be awoken, but Hot Rod has other ideas. And that's the end of episode 8. So, we got a really good start to this kind of story here. It's about an hour's worth of media, and it's uncanny the amount of it that looks and feels like the Matrix. But they use it really well. And I'm going to throw it to Charles to kind of dive in and tell us what he thought of these 4 episodes and anything that kind of stuck out to him that maybe I kind of glazed over here on my write-up.
Yeah, I mean, this was a great new story arc here. I kind of like when I was watching these episodes, and I was watching them one after the other. When I went from episode 4 to episode 5, I thought, like, did I miss an episode? Because I was like, okay, episode 4 ends. It's like, okay, kind of a, semi-happy ending. The war's over. And then episode 5 is completely different. So I was taken aback, but I was excited to see this new storyline. And yeah, all the stuff you talked about, I really enjoyed. The Matrix references were pretty overt. I mean, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the whole concept. I enjoyed making the Quintessons the new big bad for the series. Still hate Quintesson. I don't know why they persist with that, but got to live with that. But I like the characters that they threw together, like Hot Rod and Clobber. That pair is not something I would ever have thought of would work, and it really worked well. I like Perceptor as kind of Morpheus here, where he's directing everything. Mm-hmm. Dead End thrown into the mix as well. I think later on he gets more spotlight, but I really like Dead End in this series. He continues to be a kind of a pretty significant character throughout the rest of the show. And then we even got Whirl, a very different Whirl from what we're used to in the comics and in More Than Meets the Eye and Lost Light. So this Whirl is much more upbeat and happy than that Whirl, but I think it's still cool that they threw Whirl in here as another character. And I'm really happy that this series is not using its kind of branding. Like, it's branded as Transformers Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventures, and Bumblebee is almost nowhere to be seen here. So I like that they're really making it an ensemble with all these different characters.
It's almost as if the title was just determined by marketing.
Yeah. And I like having the team up between Autobots and Decepticons.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have a question for you story-wise. So, determined through the 4 episodes we have here that it seems like Hot Rod can access the Autobot side and Clobber can access the Decepticon side. How did Clobber get out? Because we got the story for how Hot Rod was out, but nothing about Clobber. Clobber was just gotten out.
She says that he told her to transform and she did.
Yes, but I mean, from what I understand from watching these 4 episodes, he shouldn't be able to access the Decepticon side.
Maybe you can, and they just didn't. Maybe they thought maybe they thought as, you know, Autobots and Decepticons, they would be able to reach their own teammates easier than reaching the other side. Right. And for whatever reason, when Hot Rod was alone, he just took a chance and went to the Decepticon side and got lucky with Clobber.
Okay.
Yeah, or maybe Perceptor helped them and they just decided they would try it. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jeremy, what about you? These 4 episodes are a big departure, like we were talking about with Charles just now about the first 4. What are your thoughts on these 4 episodes? And was it something that you thought that you would have seen in a Transformers cartoon?
Well, I never thought that I would see a cross between The Matrix and Groundhog Day in a Transformers cartoon. And I never thought I needed that, but I did. This one, I actually accidentally saw episode 5 before I'd seen any of the other episodes in the season. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on here. I got dropped into something. And then when I watched it again today after having seen the first 4, I'm like, wait, what did I miss? Just like Charles, I had the same reaction. I'm like, I went back and I looked at the other videos and I'm like, no, this is episode 5. And, I do like being dropped into the middle of something going on. Mm-hmm. And then they, kind of over the next few episodes, they basically fill in everything you missed. And it's weird for this series that was supposedly aimed at, such a younger audience. This is not an episode for that younger audience. Mm-hmm. It is dark. Some of the themes are kind of deep. I really enjoyed them, and I was not expecting all the stuff that we got. Like, I don't know, just seeing Hot Rod, I'm thinking at the end of the series, he's going to, kind of learn to be a leader. I don't know, just seeing this is really good. He's trying, he's failing. And then the introduction of the Titan, more time with McAdam. I'm really enjoying this.
Right on.
Yeah, one thing I should mention, and this I will plug Chris McFeely's The Basics YouTube series. He recently did the basics on McAdams, and the thing that's interesting about this version of McAdam. I mean, one, this is the first kind of we get a realized version of McAdam as a character in a show. But the other thing is that this McAdam is also a Prime, so he is actually Alchemist Prime.
Thanks for that spoiler.
Well, it's never actually overtly said in the show, and it doesn't. It's not. I mean, I didn't even realize that until watching Chris's video. Like I thought
he looked familiar.
Yeah, but yeah, they took his design from the book, what was it?
We were trying to think of the name of the book earlier tonight and couldn't think of it.
Yeah, the one that the source book for the
Chronicle, something like that.
The Chronicle of Primus, is that it? Or the Covenant of Primus? Covenant of Primus. Yeah, there you go. Covenant of Primus. They have. If you look at the artwork for Alchemist Prime, you can see how his character model is based on that. And so yeah, so And Alchemist Prime being a bartender, you know, that's for a Prime focused on chemistry. You know, you could see them becoming a mixologist and being a bartender.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I always thought, like, looking at his face, I got a hint of Rung.
Yeah,
in his eyes, but yeah, going back and looking at the Alchemist Prime, I can see that now.
Yeah, so if you probably if you haven't seen the rest of season 3, you should probably hold off on watching Chris's video. But yeah, you should check out the basics on McAdam's Old Oil House on YouTube, and you get all the details. But yeah, I really like this character and what they do with him for the rest of the series too.
I just really like the animation that they did for the flashbacks, because they show the war in the cold open for the Citizen, and how Iaconus had all these citizens living in him, and they would basically travel, and they were an army. They were, you know, he was a traveling, you know, war titan, and then all the citizens, you know, they fought to stop Iaconus, and essentially they died. But Iaconus in one of the flashbacks is reduced to a very minimalistic kind of animation style when he's describing the death of all of his fellow citizens, and it's really kind of somber, but in a sense he's also saying that, you know, he had to put down his friend, the Titan, into a sleep mode, because it's the only thing he could do. But in a sense, he still has him around because he's living in him still. But he says the only thing he can do is he has to keep him down, because if he wakes him up, he will destroy the planet. But yeah, it's an interesting kind of back and forth, because he knows he can't release him, but he knows that deep down he might be the only hope that the planet has.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very interesting concept of like a Titan that is built for war and can't, like, it's like a Titan with PTSD that can't come back from war and do anything else. So that it's, yeah, I mean, talk about themes that are above the kids' heads.
Yeah. But anyway, if you haven't seen them, check them out. I specifically left out a number of interesting points and just kind of glazed over the episodes, so you could still kind of watch them. They're still very watchable with children. My daughter and I loved watching them together, so check them out with your kids.
Well, I'm not thinking that my 5-year-old would.
Your 5-year-old would love it.
I mean, so many things would go over his head. Although he was watching Rogue One tonight again, so...
If you can watch Rogue One, you can watch Cyberverse.
I know.
But yeah, that's it for the review. I guess next week we're back to comics, but not new comics, but back to comics. And eventually we will do episodes 9 through 12. All
right. And let's move on to Transformers Media News.
All right, in media news this week, the Transformers trading card game is back with more stuff. This is the Titan Masters Attack game pack. There are a whole bunch of other cool things that you can do with these. You got the Wreckers in here. You've obviously got Headmasters and their Titan Masters. So you can, soup up your guys with those. And they're kind of fun. And they are now out. I've seen a lot of people on my Twitter feed that are buying them by the box. So, hopefully if you're into it, you are able to get some. In games news, Transformers Forged to Fight has released concept art for Dinobot. Yeah, so if you want to see some concept art, this is actually pretty cool looking concept art. And if you want to see what he kind of looks like, you pretty much kind of know, but take a look at this. He's just concept art for Dinobot.
A dinosaur is probably more of what we think raptors actually look like now than they back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. And in Transformers Earth Wars, not to be the only other game not doing anything this week, they had a Seek and Destroy interview with Tyler Brzezinski this week. So that was a streamed event, and there was a couple questions that were asked, and yeah, it's an interview that's up, so you can take a look at that and read it, and yeah. I haven't actually read this, so if you want to take a look, if you're reading or still playing Transformers Earth Wars, take a look and see what they're doing in the game. Episode 10 of Cyberverse dropped this week on Hasbro's YouTube. As I stated in the review, it's only good for Americans, nowhere else. And in movie news, we all want more movie news. Paramount, on their various social medias, put out a question, and they asked, who would you like to see if it came back to the theaters? Autobots or zombies? So they're looking at the 2007 Transformers movie or World War Z. It's actually Z here, but I say Z for you. It's World War Z. Zombies. Z.
It's Z for everyone else.
Just for you. Just for you. Z. World War Z. I'm going to say it just to piss you off now. So anyway, Transformers won that pretty handily. They won that battle 61.6% to 38.4%. And they are moving on to the final round to go against Interstellar. Need I remind everyone that this is the 2007 Transformers movie, not the 1986 good one.
I just thought it was funny that the original tweet from Paramount was like, which Paramount classic movie? I don't think any of these movies are classics. They're all within the last 10 years, or I guess
that's true.
15 years.
I guess in the what is it? After World War Z, Transformers went on to go against Grease. Now, Grease is definitely a classic movie.
Yeah, Grease is a classic. Yeah.
And Transformers beat Grease. So I'm surprised as hell
on the
by
other
that.
side, Trading Places would be the only other classic, I would think.
But yeah, so final round is Transformers versus Interstellar.
That might already be resolved by now. By the time this episode goes up, they probably already got the winner, the final winner.
As much as I like seeing Transformers in this, please don't let Transformers 2007 win this, please.
Why? It keeps it would only like help the brand.
All right, so it's
people keep saying that they want the 86 movie, but Paramount doesn't have the rights to that. So
that's true.
I mean, I'm not going to see it again in theaters, though. I mean, I have that movie on digital, on DVD, on Blu-ray. I don't need to go back to theaters to see it again.
I agree. I also have it on DVD and Blu-ray.
I'm seeing like in the Twitter thread here a lot of like they could have had Top Gun in there. They could have had any of the Mission Impossible movies in there. Lots of other movies they could have picked been better than the selection.
I remember when McDonald's had a kind of a promotion with Paramount, and you could go in and get a meal. I don't remember what meal, probably, a combo or somewhat, pay an extra couple bucks, and you got a VHS cassette with your meal. And I got Top Gun at McDonald's.
That was probably the early 90s when VHS was becoming super cheap. Because I remember, in the 80s, when video rental started to become a thing, you couldn't buy a VHS tape outright. Like to buy a VHS tape would be like $100 or $200 because they only sold them to rental stores. Because you, as a customer, were supposed to just go rent them from the video store. Mm-hmm. Only the video store would actually buy the copies, so they were super expensive. And then as they become more ubiquitous, then they finally came down in price in the 90s.
Yeah.
Then DVD killed them.
Yeah, and these is the only reason to keep a working VCR around is to play the unspecial versions of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Funny. Anyway, that's it for media news.
All right, let's move on to convention news.
All right. TF Nation made a couple more announcements this weekend. They have announced that Buzz Dixon, who was a cartoon writer for the G1 series, and May Cat, who is a cartoon writer for Cyberverse, they're both going to be attending or being part of the big broadcast that TF Nation is putting on. So that's awesome. I think Yoshi got to speak with May Cat a couple of years ago at TFCon LA, and she seemed like a really cool person. So I'm looking forward to seeing her on this. Next, IDW has put up another one of their WonderCon at Home panels. This one is IDW's Future of Comics Today. It is basically Chris Ryall and John Barber just talking about the entire slate of what IDW has coming on, whenever comics are back. Of particular note to Transformer fans, and they had solicited questions online prior to this. So someone asked about the UK reprints, and they said that essentially kind of fizzled out. I got the impression that they aren't really likely to come back anytime soon. They didn't really say anything concrete about it, but essentially I think probably it's a matter of sales and other priorities right now. There was some discussion on My Little Pony Transformers and also the Transformers Terminator crossovers. I can't remember exactly. I think someone asked about another crossover with Terminator. I'm not sure if that was My Little Pony or something else, but I think that would be awesome to see. And then biggest news to me, I think, was they announced that because this is, I believe it's the 25th anniversary of Beast Wars, they're going to be having a new Beast Wars series. They didn't say if it was an ongoing or a miniseries. I think it's probably more likely a miniseries, but I am excited for more Beast Wars. We know what Daryl thinks, but we're going to make him review the comics anyway. Charles, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I am excited for a new Beast Wars series. I'm curious what they're going to do with it. I mean, what is it? Is it going to be set within the time period of the original series or some other?
I can't remember exactly the words that they said, but John Barber seemed to, he mentioned that he had kind of butchered some of the Beast Wars characters in his own books, but this is going to be Beast Wars stories in Beast Wars universe. I'm fairly certain that's what he said. I wasn't taking notes.
Okay.
But my impression is that this is going to be your classic Beast Wars lineup. Great.
I'm all for it. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Did they say who is writing and drawing it?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, no date, no more specifics than just it's coming.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Cool. Well, that is all our convention news.
Okay, and we will finish up the show with feedback. And on Facebook, we had our friend Cameron reach out to us again. So we read his feedback last week. And so Cameron writes back, hey, Jeremy, thanks for putting me in both shows. Tell Charles I've started my assignment. Haha. I totally forgot about Transformers Animated. I watched some and really enjoyed it. I tried getting into Beast Wars, but never was a fan and can't get into it. Personally, I think it's a bit stupid, but that's my opinion. I'm a sucker for G1 and the cartoon designs and animation. That's why I enjoyed Armada. All right, Cameron, you're on thin ice here, buddy. That's fine.
But you're on Team Daryl.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with his answer. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you, but yeah, you're young. You'll learn.
There's enough Transformers for everybody.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Beast Wars. Jeremy and I are both fans, so we're biased, but yeah, to each their own. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely say watch Cyberverse. If you have a chance to watch Cyberverse, that has definitely lots of G1 vibes, and there's 3 seasons of it now, so there's plenty to watch. And it's pretty easy to binge. Yeah, check that out. Probably let us know what you think of the comics as you go through them, and keep listening. Thanks for listening. All All right, that will do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
Oh, Cameron, you're killing me here. Cameron, you're killing me. Although you're validating Daryl, which is bad, but
It's like killing you on two fronts.
What's happening? I like being validated. Episode X of Cyberverse dropped this week on Hasbro's YouTube.
10. Sorry.
I thought that was just a placeholder.
That's what I thought too.
It was a placeholder, but just coincidentally, it's also correct.